What is up, RetroManiacs? My name is Mike. His name's Joe. His name's EP. We're here to talk about cards. You know, not much surprises us in this hobby anymore. You really can't be surprised by things. But we have a list of 9 things that actually do surprise us. So, Joe, get us started.
All right. First thing that surprises me is when someone tells me that they have never graded a card. Either never graded a card or don't buy graded cards. I know there are a lot of people out there. We're in this bubble and everything. It's like you pull it from a pack, sleeve, card saver, off the PSA, off the SGC, so on and so on. We assume that's how everyone is. So when someone tells us, and I think Bargain Boxer is one of those people, when someone tells us, I don't grade cards, I don't buy graded cards, it still to this day shocks me. And this is someone coming from someone who doesn't grade much at all anymore, but I'm still shocked by it every time I hear it.
Yeah, I feel like this feels almost very similar to our conversation we had 2 weeks ago when we were talking. When I said how many people are on social media, like how many card collectors are on social media and how many are not. I think the percentage is small. I think the percentage of graders, despite the numbers that PSA and everybody's putting out, I think the number is still small compared to the overall all the collectors. I really feel like, but the thing is, in our space and the people we talk to are the people that should be grading. So that definitely is surprising when we find somebody in this space that we're in that doesn't grade.
Yeah, and yeah, there's kind of a bubble within the bubble with the grading thing, you know, where just if you do it, you kind of assume everybody else does. Although I would be interested to know, like, what percentage of collectors under a certain age don't grade cards, because I have a feeling that it's skewed a little more toward
the demographics are.
Yeah, I feel like the younger people probably grade most everything. So I could be wrong. I'd love to see somebody do the numbers. Get that data for me and let us know below. Yeah. All right, EP. What surprises you about the hobby?
Well, I mean, this is a very personal one, but I'm guessing a lot of people have the same thought. Is like the number of people in my sphere outside of this conversation that we're having and outside of the card shows. How many people in my life don't really care about the hobby? I've got my buddy Rob Ingalls is like one guy who really cares about it. Another coworker, Scott Dadinsky, used to collect cards back in the day, and a lot of people did that. But the number of people that are in the hobby right now, despite how popular it has become since the pandy and the boom and all that sort of stuff, and a lot of us are still in it. The fact that I'm just not surrounded by very many people at all who also collect.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, there's no one in I try and tell Rob about cards and he's like, can you stop talking about cards? He doesn't care. So I don't know what I would do if I didn't have this outlet. I mean, I wouldn't be back into cards if I didn't have this outlet, to be honest. Same. So for me, it'd be really tough to be a card collector without I don't know how people do it. There are some people who don't have this and don't have people elsewhere in their life that they can talk about cards, but they still enjoy collecting cards. I think it's a shared experience. So for me, I'd probably be out of it.
I'm just lucky because both of my sons have tons of cards in their bedrooms here at the house. So, they're okay. Well, they might be my cards.
Yeah, I was gonna say
and neither of my sons live here, and they don't necessarily know how many cards I have in their rooms. But okay. So I literally have nobody that collects cards in my life other than you guys. So, Amy has a couple cards though, so she has a couple Jalen Hurts. So she does not like talking about cards with me.
Right. Rob wants to open up a box of 98 World Cup soccer, which I have. I bought it in this lot of soccer boxes, and he wants to open that up, but he's not like, are we going to open that box yet? Like, he's not. It's still sealed. Like, we're like, we don't.
You're more excited about it than he is.
I'm like, let's open this up. Let's do this.
He'll enjoy it when you do it, but there's really no urgency to get to it.
Exactly.
Okay. My first thing that surprises me is the lack of technology with some of the bigger set. I'm going to point the finger at ComC this time. I'm sorry. If I put a word in the search and it's a plural and you have it without the plural, or you have it with the S and I don't have it and it just doesn't show up, come on. That is 1994 calling. Like, spend a little bit.
That's Jeeves. That's Ask Jeeves level.
It is Jeeves level, like dog pile level stuff there. It's just crazy how, the lengths you have to go to. At least eBay, if you're close on something, it'll usually come up, not in the Terapeak section though, but in their actual listings. But and eBay is way behind the times too. But ComC is a great website. Like that is everything that anybody who's into buying lower end cards and stuff should want. They have great pictures and everything. Let's update it a little bit though, and make an app that people can use. I signed into what was like supposed to be their app or something, and I wanted to see what was in my one order I had shipped.
Yeah.
I can't see. They don't even show me my orders I had shipped.
Yeah, do you want to go to the .com site? We can just send you the .com site. Just go ahead and click here. We'll send you to the .com site. You can log in again. Yep.
And it's even tough to find in the .com site. Let's not make it sound like it's super easy. Like I'm like, I know I placed this order. I have the email confirmation. How can I not see how can I not easily see what I just bought? It's very, very difficult.
If there was ever a site that if they had a killer app would just like I would be on it all the time, it is ComC. But they're just way too far behind.
So they're trying to save your marriage is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, probably.
Their database is absolutely amazing, but yeah, the technology could use a refresher for sure.
All right, Joe, give us something else that surprises you.
I think this one's more on me than the actual situation. Like
you might have some of those in here.
This shouldn't surprise me, but it still does. There are so many people. So the hypocrisy that we have in this hobby, specifically on social media, still every time I see it blows my mind. I have seen multiple people say, if you're a true collector, you should not sell cards, right? Something similar. We've all seen stuff like that. Yeah. Something similar to that. Okay, that's fine. I think it's a bullshit opinion. And I don't think it's, I don't think it's very valid. But hey, it's an opinion. It's objective, or subjective, whatever. And then you scroll either 2 posts up or 2 posts down, and that same person is selling cards. and I'm one of those people like, I call out hypocrisy all the time. Like I can't help that's a one thing. Like I've stopped commenting on political posts for the most part. I stopped commenting on a lot of stuff on social media because hypocrisy is one that I cannot not comment on. And I will say, didn't you just say 2 posts ago that if you're a true, well, that doesn't count. I don't want these cards anymore. That's literally, that's the whole point. Oh, or, well, I want to buy another card and I need the money. Again, that's why people are doing this. Like, I don't, it's so the lack of like self-reflection and the hypocrisy still, they shouldn't surprise me, but my God, every time it surprised me to the point where I have to comment. Like, it's just like, that's how I am.
There is a lot of a lack of awareness in the hobby, like just understanding like that's 100%. I did love though, Joe, when there was a point where you were like, when you said about how and then 2 posts down, there's you see that they're selling a card and you did this and you paused for a couple seconds, and that is so Joe. That is so Joe. Just taking a second to calm the rage down a little bit.
Wrap my mind around the rage.
Calm the rage down a little bit, and then say something that's really good. So yeah, that was good.
I have also noticed too that like there are certain people that are that way, that are continuously that way.
Yeah.
About many things. So
no,
I think it might be a little more like something inside their own little heads than
might be.
So.
Maybe a couple conversations going on in there. Who knows? not just one. There's
we all have it happening.
Yeah.
All right, EP. What surprises you, man?
This one's kind of adjacent to my first one, but I mean a little bit. When I'm at card shows and when somebody comes up to me and legit, they're not buying anything, they're just looking. Now I don't know their stories. Like I've had people come up and say, I'm not really looking. And then we get talking and they'll buy something. I'll show them. I got these cards from the 1990s, Curtis Conway rookie, something like that. Like, that's something really
Collins
weird.
Rookies,
right?
Like
something weird like that, and they end up buying something. But I'm talking, they're legit people who I don't know if they're at the mall at a time when there is a show and it's a big show, and they just want to know what's going on. They're kind of like, I just want to see what the big deal is. But it surprises me when people are. You can tell from the first words out of their mouth that they're not looking to buy anything. They're just there looking and seeing what the big deal is. That's really cool.
Yeah, I don't set up at shows, but I do remember that I even had that at my shop back in the day. People that would
People
just
stumble
randomly
in.
walk in that weren't, wanted to see what was there and stuff. But good on you for taking some of those people and like converting them into somebody that wants to buy something. That's how you grow the hobby.
That is.
If they're looking, they have an interest in something.
Right.
Yeah.
If you can maybe match that up with a card, then it's not that expensive, and it's not, like if you're at Fanatics Fest and it's like a $20,000
I was
card,
actually gonna say
the person might buy it and they might become a card collector.
Yeah.
Never know.
When we talked about these potential topics ahead of time, because we didn't want to step on each other's toes at all, you had brought this one up, and I thought you were going a different direction, where I would have gone with it, where I am not a museum. Keep walking, pal. Like I hate when people do that. They're like, "Hey, can I see all your whatever cards?" And you're like, I don't know. Is that going to be one of yours, Mike?
I think.
No.
Well, no,
Okay.
I think it's different at the card show because we call it a card show, not a card sale. And I think a part of it is people going out there with all their stuff and kind of show. I mean, obviously, you want to sell stuff, but I also feel like it's part of the part of the hobby where we call it a card show for a reason.
It's also not called a card museum either.
Right. That's the difference between me and EP right there in a nutshell.
It really is. Okay. We talked on the podcast this week a little bit about Topps looking to hire a new product manager for an entertainment field. And I didn't get into too much depth on this, but one thing that has always surprised me is the lack of music cards in the hobby. I feel like that market is like, I'm a guitar player. I've loved rock music. I would love to have an Eddie Van Halen rookie card, but you can't. There's things that maybe people are kind of trying to force into the square peg into a round hole thing to make it a rookie card, but like there are no actual rookie cards that I'm aware of him. Just like they made them in the early 90s. They did the Yo MTV rap cards. Pro Set put them out. They put out their own music cards. There were rock cards all put out in like 1991, 1992. Yeah. They need to do that. Grow the hobby. Get people love music. People love entertainers. I understand it's much more difficult because it's not a group licensing deal. But I also think that, Leaf has done, Pop Century and stuff. I think it's laziness on the part of like Topps or Panini, not so much Topps. Well, yeah, the older Topps, not Fanatics Topps specifically, but it's laziness. Oh, we can just get a group licensing deal. We don't have to go work to get the licenses to put this together and make a product. And I think anything that you could have Taylor Swift in, I don't like Taylor Swift, but there are a whole lot of people who like Taylor Swift, and they will buy what you put out with Taylor Swift on it. So, there are so many artists out there. This could grow the hobby and bring so many new collectors in.
Yeah, for Christmas I got some collectibles for a lot of people, and for my niece I wanted to get her, I wanted to get her a Taylor Swift autograph, but anything that was legit is just out of this world. It's like, well, there's probably some card somewhere, and I think I ended up getting a card from the UK that was actually a card that was part of a playing card game or something like that, because there's just nothing out there, no card ever out there, and so it was weird. It was a weird search. So when he said that, I was like, yeah, that this makes a lot of sense. And the oddest thing is, for a company that like Topps Fanatics, who they push a button, they print money when they make a product, to have not made something like this, that seems like a really big misstep.
I think they're headed in that direction. I really do. I hope so.
How the product chase of this last Topps composite bullcrap release wasn't a dual Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce autograph is beyond me.
There you go.
Oh man,
there you go.
But you hit the nail on the head, Mike, when you said if Leaf can do it, Fanatics should be able to do it. So, yeah, that's full stop there. That's the exact point.
All right, Joe, your last thing that surprises you about our wonderful hobby.
I don't know if it's like intentional or if it's like some sort of level of dementia or something, but just like the people who somehow forget how card releases work. Okay. So the people who this is how card releases work, in case you're not sure. Okay. The product's announced that it's going to come out, starts going up the roller coaster, right? Starts building momentum. Okay, we're getting closer to release date. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. Now it's like the week of release date. Oh, now people are starting to open the products and it looks cool. Now we're at the top. You know what happens at the other end of a roller coaster?
No, it just stays up here. It just
stays up here, right?
It just stays.
And I have to say, the people who somehow like have this delirium where they can't like remember the last release was the exact same way are not dumb people in the hobby. I see it over, and I'm talking true hobbyists, not people who are just trying to pump stuff. I'm talking about actual true hobbyists. You see it all the time. A new product comes out and they're like, oh, this will never come down. And it always does. You know, you see a card, oh, that's $1,000 card, ends up selling a week later for $200. Seriously? And then the next release will come out, and guess what will happen? It's like, oh my God, I can't believe this set. Look at this. It's going to stay up here and never come down. No, it always does. It's always up here and it always ends up down here. And unless Tom Brady rookie cards are in that box of whatever, chances are it's probably going to come down here pretty precipitously in the next couple of weeks after release. It's a natural cycle, the roller coaster that is new product release. And it just shocks me, surprises me every time it happens. And again, maybe that's on me for having some faith in the hobby community, but
that is on you. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's shocking. It's surprising.
That's like the winning strategy for sure. But I mean, I feel like everybody kind of gets stuck up in or caught up in that kind of thing. Like me and Mike each bought a box of Bowman Inception University, which is not a product that we normally would buy. We each bought that. It was a terrible purchase, terrible product. But people get kind of excited. Like yesterday was.
You didn't think that product was always going to stay up here, right? You didn't think.
No. But I mean, I feel like the part that you're getting at where people are like they're at that fever pitch. I think that people. Like it's just a natural thing, I think, especially for people in the hobby, but also in fantasy football. Like yesterday, there's all these performances from all these players, and people are going to go out on the waiver wire. They're going to like pick up this guy who's a flash in the pan kind of thing. People just get excited. They want to be part of whatever's happening. And I think that's
the waiver wires are tonight. EP today's Wednesday. The waiver wires are tonight.
Oh, Wednesday. I'm sorry. I thought
days ago.
Yeah, don't miss it.
Yep, sorry.
Yeah. Don't miss your waiver wire, folks.
Yeah, EP is right with that, though. There is an excitement, but yeah, you see it, though, over and over and over again. Like, well, this will be the one product, though, that if I don't get it now,
rules.
It's going to go. I think that's a lot of what it is. It's like, if I don't get it, though, it'll probably be like twice as much in a week, and then I won't be able to get it at all. I better get it now. So,
right.
It doesn't work that way, but when you're excited about the product, it's not always easy to convince yourself that way. I speak from experience.
Yeah.
Same.
Go watch that video on the channel. You know which one he's talking about.
All right, EP. What surprises you, man?
My last one is, I mean, we talk about this all the time on 3 cards. The number of awesome 1990s inserts, and 1990s and 2000s inserts you can get that are like rare, like 1 in 73 packs. Like you have to open like a cases of cards to get these cards for a song. Like you're talking like Ken Griffey Jr.'s for like $30, and they probably should be $100 card. Like it's crazy how much cool stuff you can find out there and pick up. And like I mean, I don't want to talk too loud. I don't want to, too many people to find out about it because we can't get those cool cards. But I mean, it's still awesome to see all these cool cards out there that are relatively rare.
And we do a whole series of shows based on that fact. Yes. That is what 3 cards you need in your retro PC is. There are so many cool cards out there. Even I don't remember a lot of this stuff, and then I see it, and like the light bulb comes on. I'm like, that is so cool, and people just don't know. If you do take the time to look back, you can get a lot of really cool cards for your collection and not spend a lot of money doing it. And that's the great thing about this hobby. Everybody likes getting a deal or getting something really cool. You can buy cards that are cooler now than the cards they put out now for way less money.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's almost wild that people don't realize like pack odds are not different now than they were. Like, why is a card that's 1 in 55 packs now of maybe even the same player? They're still making Ken Griffey Jr. cards, guaranteed. I mean, why is that card more valuable than one during his playing days that's 1 per 55 packs. Like it's still the same number of packs that you would have to get this card. So yeah, it is surprising that people have not picked up on that, but it's been good for you guys, right? Picking up those cheap 90s cards.
Okay. My last thing that surprised me, I actually did a little bit of research here, so bear with me.
Oh, there we go.
I as somebody who had a card shop from 1991 to 2004, we're in the year 2024. I am surprised that the hobby has still not found a way to get more women collectors in the hobby. I think too, it's because you have a lot of men making the decisions that don't know the first thing about how to get a date with a woman. So how are they going to figure out how to get them to buy cards? But this is one of the things I've always talked about. This, like they talk about putting out cards of women athletes and stuff. That is not the answer the way I see it. It's how you market. You have to market to the women. You want to spend all the money you can spend on Tom Brady to walk around Fanatics Fest, but you're not targeting women with marketing for sports they already like. You don't have to create sports fans. I looked it up. 34% of hockey, NHL hockey fans are women.
That's wild.
39% of MLB baseball fans are women. 40%, which surprised me, of NBA fans are women, and 46% of NFL football fans are women. They already like the sports that you put products out of, but they're not buying it. Why? That's the thing. You don't have to find the product that they're going to want to buy. And that's what's backward about this whole thing. It's not about doing that. It's about getting this female person to want to buy the products you already make. They like football. They like that player. They like that team. You can convert them to new collectors, but you need to think outside the box and market a little more toward the women. Do things to get women to collect in the hobby instead of just thinking, well, what can we make that they'll buy? It's not about that. It's about how can we get these people who like the sport that we already make a product of to buy it.
And I bet you that the number for female soccer fans is probably at least
even higher,
50%. I mean, it's got to be higher than it might be the biggest out of all of them. I just assume like throwing some pink parallels will be good, right?
Of course, that's how it works.
But you're 100% right, and the marketing side of it, like car companies do it. Like it can't be that tough.
Fanatics does it with like t-shirts and jerseys that are.
They do a great job with their apparel.
Right. Like, why can you not figure this out? A company as big as Fanatics, who are doing it in their other, parts of their company, why can't you figure it out? Yeah, I don't get that either. You know what it is? Maybe because women are generally smarter than men. They're like, we're not into this whole gambling thing. We're not
falling into that trap.
We're not falling into that trap. Maybe that's what's so difficult.
Casinos, though. Maybe
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
All right, guys. Well, let us know in the comments if there's anything that surprises you about the hobby, or is it all just the same old? Nothing surprising you? But we found 9 things and we gave them to you. So that's all we got, though. We'll be back next week. See you guys.
See you, boys.